You are listening to Mortgage Cowboys, the show where the mortgage and finance world gets real.
We cut through all the bullshit and tell you what's happening in today's market.
Every week, we break down the trends, the myths, and the moments that can make or break your next deal.
So grab a drink, a smoke, and let's ride.
This is the Mortgage Cowboys.
All right, so welcome to Mortgage Cowboys. We have a special guest today, Dr. Ken.
Dr. Ken.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you. What your journey from the very beginning.
Oh God, that goes
And
way
hey,
back.
I just want to throw this out there that before the end of the show, you are going to adjust me.
Hey, I'm retired. I'm retired. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. So, how I got into real estate, or
Well, yeah, I mean, say because you're associated with Mike Ferry, so kind of tell us how that all
Evolved.
came up. Yeah,
Okay.
evolved.
All right,
and then
all right.
how you got into real estate.
okay, so way back in the day, so I was newly licensed. Now I had studied a very specialized technique for 4 years, so I came out being pretty good at it. At the time, there were only a couple hundred of us in the nation that did this, in the world that did it. And so I'm in my office, and this guy gets referred to me, a guy named Mike Ferry, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And so my office manager at the time looks out the window, goes, Kenny, this guy looks important. I'm like, oh yeah? I'm
Not as important as me.
I'm like, oh yeah, he's important. She goes, yeah. So he was rolling up in his Ghost. He had an old school, Ghost.
Really?
Yeah. Was it Bentley? Yeah. Old school with the driver. And
With a driver.
with a driver. And he rolls up, and I'm young and I'm cocky at the time, and I'm like, Jeannie, hey, look at him. Does he have one head? She goes, yeah. Does he have one neck? She goes, yeah. I could fix him.
I'm good. We're in.
And he rolls in. I have no idea who he is. So he rolls in. His neck is pretty much like on his shoulder. I thought he was joking at the time.
How did you get connected? Like
So there was a client of mine that he started getting real healthy, that would do like Sunrider products. And she was helping him with the nutrition and the thing. And she goes, you got to go see Kenny.
Okay.
So yeah, so he walks in, head like this. I'm like, oh my God.
He gets out of the car.
Yeah, like he's head on his shoulders. I think at the time it was like 7 degrees, which is huge, right? Average is probably about 1.5 degrees. Take the x-rays, do the analysis, do the thing, correct it. It was a good correction. So we take the same x-ray afterwards. And it was pretty close to being zeroed out, pretty perfectly balanced. So he goes home, and I guess he slept for hours and hours. He wasn't sleeping much at the time, maybe 4 hours. He had another chiropractor in town that he would see virtually every day, or sometimes twice a day. And so, yeah, after a while.
Twice a day?
Yeah, he was his back was pretty bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so fixed him, straightened him out, and he got better. He started referring a whole bunch of people. At some point, a couple months down the road, he goes, hey, Kenny, I do this little thing in the desert. I want you to come out, bring your table, come out. I want you to adjust me. You can sit in the seminar. You can just, enjoy the resort. It was at the Desert Springs Marriott, for so many years.
Oh.
And so I'm like, all right, I'll pay you, and you can get your room, and all that kind of. So I roll out there, and on the side of the building, welcome Mike Ferry Superstars. I'm like, I still have no idea who this dude is. And I'm like, oh, all right, great. And then at that time there were 4,000 people in there, and they were just hanging on every word. And so from that point, and I've been connected. I traveled with them all over the world, fixed them up all over the world.
Wow.
Sat in seminars for 25, 30 years. And then when I moved here, and I was going back and forth for a few years.
So this was where were you when all this started, your relationship with him?
I was in Newport Beach.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Newport Beach. And then he moved the
Mr.
business.
Fancy.
Newport, Costa Mesa, right on the border there, If I want to be bougie, Newport. And so I was right there. And so he would come in, and then I fixed him up all over. And then when I moved here, I was going.
You moved here?
I moved to Boise.
No, but what year?
2018.
Okay.
I think 2018. And I was going back and forth for a few years. And then one point I was like, man, I'm done. I'm done with this. I had that Forrest Gump moment. I drove all night, slept a couple hours.
Ran all the way?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then ran back?
Felt like it. I felt like it. And I slept a couple hours. I go into the office. I look around. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm go home. You know what I mean? I'm done. I was done. And then it was like, okay, well, what else do you know how to do, dude? What do you? And I was like, well, I've been sitting in real estate seminars for those years, and I've seen some of those people that are very successful. And I'm like, they could do this. They could do that job. I could do this job.
Yeah. With my eyes closed.
So that's when I got my license, and I remember being at the production retreat that Mike does in January. And I was there and I told him I got my license. He's like, Kenny, it's about time. I'm like, damn, I wish you would have told me before,
Wish you told me 20 years ago.
Yeah. And so
you had the cheat code mentor.
I know.
For sure.
I know.
Wow.
So, and then I've been doing it ever since. And that's why, too, he goes, Kenny, you're making a big mistake. I'm like, what? Because I gave him my business card. He's like, it says Ken Connor. I'm like, that's my name. He says, well, everybody knows you as Dr. Ken. So that's how that stuck. Dr. Ken, that's how you know me as Dr. Ken. Yeah.
I don't know. No other. It's just Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. All right.
So what's the most inspirational thing that you've taken out of doing all the seminars with Mike and so forth? What's stuck with you the most?
That's a lot. I mean,
if you can pinpoint.
You've been all over the place with him. It sounds like all over the world, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind those trips to Scotland or Ireland or
I don't know if I can make it.
The boat in the Bahamas or Italy or Now, not to say I haven't done my fair share of him. I think I mentioned before when I went across the country with him in a Sprinter van. I was a driver, like I'm trying to drive you to the store. I'm like driving to this driving thing across the country, and he did.
I like the Bentley better.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
much
more
better,
sexy
much
overall.
better. Oh God, all of his beautiful cars that he had. But it was set up as an executive office, so he had that G4 seat in there.
So he traveled all over the country in the Sprinter van.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the man has worked, and so he would set up all these tours, all these stops, and go and speak for 3 hours. Some things were going on with the company, and he wanted to get them corrected, and so he did a lot of town hall type stops, and we do the same talk, 3 hours twice a day, and go across the country. And so one of the things that he always says is you have to, in this business, you have to overcome repetitious boredom. You have to do the same thing. And I would see him do these talks, the same jokes, the same things, as if it was fresh and he was on point every time.
That is so true. Yeah. That is so true, because you meet a lot of people and it translates into real estate, sales. It translates into mortgage finance. And you go through the same thing over and over again. But for you, it's the same thing over and over again. But for these people, it's the first time. So I think it's key to keep that perspective that this may be your 437,000th time of doing this, but it's their first.
Right.
So having to keep that in mind and keep that fresh and keep that engagement fresh with them is super key.
Yeah. And, there's so many things to answer, there's so many things that I've gleaned from it. And, like every day you start at zero. It doesn't matter how many listings, how many pendings, how many things, you start at zero. So that mentality and that the work ethic of practicing and doing your script work and doing your role plays and all of it, huge. I mean, and the beautiful thing about it's a Mike Ferry sales system. So it's a system. So there's always things that you can improve on throughout that system. So, but, and then again, it's just, I would say, I just got it. The most important thing would be mindset. His mindset. For example, there was a time when I was in that Sprinter van with him and his wife, Sabrina, and we're going across the country. And I hope he doesn't mind if I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Do tell.
Yeah. So we're going across the country and I'm driving. Sabrina just gets off the phone and her face is just ashen. It's just white. And he's like, honey, what's wrong? He says, well, I just got off the phone with the accountant, and it's one of those big 5 firms, I just got off the phone with the accountant, and they think they made a $300,000 mistake. And without a beat, he pauses, he looks, he goes, okay, so call so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and see what's going on here. And then, honey, worst case scenario, I just have to make more money. And I was just like, holy crap. I'm driving like,
mind blown.
I'm like, $300,000, right?
That's
if it was a couple thousand or 3,000, I'd be like, oh, damn it, man. $3,000 I just wasted.
Open the door of the Sprinter and jump out.
Yeah. And it was just the mindset. It was just no matter what comes at him or what he's had to deal with, he's just dealt with it. Mm-hmm. And with that idea that he can produce, you just work a little bit harder, work a little smarter, So I think mindset would be most important.
That's very optimistic too. And just to not be negative about that and just be like, oh, I'll just work more. That's, you don't find that very often.
No, like you can't control that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So
most people would like dive into like what went wrong and then get into all the minutia of like, where did it make a left-hand turn? What happened? Trying to do this, trying to do that. Oh, we just got to make more money.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if he said, okay, we're not using them again.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? But yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say the mindset is just, he's so strong with it. All of it.
What do you think the difference is between Mike and Tom from a coaching aspect?
I don't know how Tom coaches, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, but I was around Tom. I was around the whole family for many years. And I was there when they went their separate ways. I don't know how Tom's coaching is now, but I know at that point, there was a certain point where he kind of did everything the opposite of what Mike taught, right? Like, he was establishing his own thing. Mike is all about doing the work, practicing, doing the sales system, learning all the steps and doing that and being consistent about it. Tom is much more of a hype guy. He's like, pump, get in charge, get that energy up.
Totally agree.
Rub your hands, do the money thing, do all that stuff. And so I remember Mike and Tom were on stage once and in New York. And it was for a tech thing. I think the guy was a friend of Tom's and they were both on stage. And at one point, Mike says, hey, if you want, someone asked him, what's the difference? And he says, if you want to be pumped up and motivated and sing and hyped up, you should go see my son, Tom. If you want to list and sell a lot of homes, come see me. That's just how he is, man. That's how he is. So,
yeah, I actually had the opportunity to see Mike and Tom on the stage, and I've been going to Tom for years, and to see Mike up there and just like when he spoke, people listened. And I just feel like he grabs your attention and you will listen. I think Tom, like you said, is hype. And I think it's a different genre, a different crowd that he caters to.
Yeah.
But I really did appreciate what Mike had to say. And I think this was a few years ago when they were on stage. I don't know how often this is done, but I think that there was a gap in between that they wouldn't join. So what you're saying, New York, when was that?
I don't know, years ago.
And then, so I think there was a gap, and then this was the first time that they're on stage, for such a long time.
It was at Tom's event, I think.
Yeah. It was at Tom's, and when Mike came, everyone, like, it just, the energy was different. Like, it was just like, and then people listened. I really appreciate Mike.
Yeah, he's got this gravitas, man. He's done it. I mean, he's this business for 50 years, and before that, he was a top producer, in Orange County. I mean, when you listen to him tell the story, he didn't have any idea what to do. And he just, whatever his broker told him to do, go make these phone calls, go knock on these doors, go do this, he would just do it. And he'd come back and he goes, Ken, it was before they had all these written contracts. You just write it on a piece of paper and do the thing. And
napkin here. Here's the form. Here's it.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
What's been the most rewarding thing for you in real estate since you've been in real estate? I think everything's rewarding, but what's been the one that has stood out to you the most?
Well, a lot of times it's, when you get those first time home buyers and they're just, and it's like they're starting to live that American dream, of a home ownership, and they do the thing and they're not renting anymore. It's the next step. Or young families.
Very gratifying.
Yeah. There's something pretty cool about that.
There's something special about that.
Yeah.
It's because that's something that everybody aspires to, I think. I hope everybody still aspires to.
Yeah.
I hope that spark is still there going forward. But yeah, it's a special place to be.
It is. Now, I think I've noticed this recently is that sometimes it's a lot more work. Right, it's a lot more work. Those first-time home buyers.
Yeah,
well, the money's a lot tighter. Every little thing's a lot more significant. Yeah. God, there's so much emotion and drama, and and you just, you're a psychologist too. You're like bringing it back. Keeping them down.
We wear many hats.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be.
I think it's important to have those psychology skills.
Yeah,
to, be able to relate to people. That's the other thing, is being able to relate to people.
Yeah,
and probably in your profession before, you see people from all walks of life, so you have a lot of conversations, and being able to understand and relate to people from every different walk of life, every different background.
Yeah, and be able to listen. And that's the huge. Just sometimes people just need to vent. Sometimes people
just shut the fuck up and just listen.
Yes,
just all right, okay, right? It's gonna be okay. Yeah, we're gonna get through this. Yeah. Well, here's the steps. This is what come next.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think that's huge. Yeah, it's all though so rewarding. The beautiful thing about this profession is that every transaction is so different.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not one that's the same. Man.
I say that all the time. They're like snowflakes. There's like no two that are absolutely identical.
Yeah.
Everyone is slightly different from the next.
Yeah, and the idea too of sometimes just trying to keep the deal together. This side panics and this side does this, and the inspection comes back like this, and the appraisal's over here, and you're like, okay, let's navigate this thing. We could do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then it also helps, again, talking about those relationship skills, or the being able to have meaningful conversations, is the agent on the other side of it. If you could pick up the phone, because hey, we want the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah. We're all on the same team.
We want the same team. We're trying to come together and make this thing happen. Yeah. So being able to pick up that phone and talk to the other agent, say, hey, this is what we have going on, and what's your client, and going back and forth makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
I find it's interesting that there's a lot of agents out there that never pick up the phone, and it's just texting. You do deals with these guys, and everything's by text.
Sure.
And I know it's convenient, and I know it's fast, and I know there's something missing with that.
I'm with you on that. Sometimes I agree. Sometimes I have a lot of relationships that way too. And sometimes you just want to talk. We don't have to talk a lot, but hey, do you have time for a 5-minute phone call? Let's just catch up on this or catch up on that.
Yeah.
And I mean, texts were meant to be a bit message,
Right.
Grab some, milk from the store on the way home or something like that. It wasn't meant to be a conversation.
Yeah. Your appraisal came in low and the repair, it was meant to be
it was meant to be a phone
conversation, for sure.
Short message, not a convo or a relationship, right?
Right.
So I know exactly what you mean by that, and I agree with that. Like sometimes, it's
and that's the thing,
talk.
Like my coach always says, you have to talk to people. This is business, because people are concerned about the AI thing and the AI, and you got to do, and it's a great tool, and it can help you out, and you still have to talk to people. So how about, let me have AI do this great email, and all these words and these things, and it sends out, and the people respond, and then you got to talk to them.
Yeah,
and you don't sound like that. You don't. Well, this is the same guy. It's kind of like when people put their headshots on their cards. And it's like 20 years ago. Like, yo, you don't look like, who are you?
I have my high school yearbook.
This guy, yeah, exactly.
I have my high school yearbook photo on my head.
And I told him, I was like, you need to stop catfishing people, man.
Yeah.
Like a bitch and mullet, probably going on. Yeah. No, I had it's funny you say that too, because I had an agent telling me a while back about this story, about this pair of clients who's had this young couple, and he was like, man, they reached out to me through I don't know if it was through social media in the beginning, but through text messaging, and they were very like engaging and conversational in their messaging with him. And he's like, okay, so he set up these showings, and he rolls up to the first showing, and he's like waiting, and they okay, they're here. He drives up, he goes, and he gets the house opened up, and they come in. They didn't say a word, and he was like, are these the same people that I've been talking to? Hey, how you doing? Hello. And they walked in and they walked through the house, and they didn't say like a word through the whole thing. So he was thinking like, man, they hate this property, or they're not down with this. And so he's like, I don't know what to gauge with this. So he says, okay, they're going to go, they were going to agree the next day, I think, to meet somewhere else, but they left. So he left. He's like, man, that didn't go well, whatever. So a few minutes later, he gets a message from them like, same thing.
We loved it.
We love the property. It's awesome. We love it. Not like it was ongoing. He's like,
what the hell just happened?
Bipolar? He's like, I don't know am I getting catfished or something? I'm not so sure. But yeah, it's crazy. That I think we just need to pick back up with some of the social skills and just hang out and talk,
Yeah, I think that, like with my children, that to me is going to be the most important thing. Being able to look someone in the eye and shake their hand and have a conversation about anything, and not not do that kind of thing. Yeah. I think the people that can communicate in person or on the phone in the future will have an advantage.
Some of it's a generational thing because we came up in a time where you made your relationships face to face, and you rolled over to your friend's house, you knocked on the door, and you're like, what are you doing?
You want to play?
Can you play? Whatever. And then you just screwed around all day or whatever.
Right.
But, and then the digital age came, right about 2006, 2007. And so there's a lot of younger folks that they assimilated their relationships digitally. Mm-hmm. And so it's just different for them. And I hope that pendulum comes back the other direction, and we find that connection again.
Yeah. I think the whole COVID era didn't help.
No, that just
for sure.
That just made
that worse.
That solidified, the direction we were going.
Yeah. Oh, like, man, I mean, the stunted development from babies and young children to not be able to read, look at your face and mimic.
So much of your communication, it's not just audible. It has to do with like all your there's a whole bunch of other social cues,
all your
body
expressions,
language, your expression, and it's funny, like the lower half of your face when it's covered up, I remember during COVID meeting with clients, it was so funny because I had closings where like I've never really seen them. I've seen them from like here up, like you don't know all of total what they look like. And there's so much that's lost, so much that's lost in there. But I remember meeting with people, and I'm like, okay, do you mind? I got to take my mask off because my glasses are getting fogged up all the time. But
God, it was nonsense.
That was stupid. It was the stupidest things.
But some of the people, you want them to keep the mask on. Just saying.
So I traveled a lot. I still traveled a lot during COVID. And so I'd get on a plane and, there'd be 10 people. But I think I was going to Southern California, and I pull up to the Southwest counter, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here to check in my flight. And they're like, oh, we don't have a flight going. But they have a flight leaving in 45 minutes. So I don't know what I booked. I ran over there like, oh yeah, you better run. So I got the mask on. I got my stuff. I'm running to the airport. I'm sweating. I get to the thing. I get on the plane, and I have to cough. And now I'm sweating. I got a cough, and people are tripping. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm holding it. I'm just holding it. I'm holding it. And I got to wait till we get up to 10,000 feet or whatever to go use the restroom. And we're like, it was painful.
Those were the dumbest rules ever, man.
Yeah.
Dumbest rules.
Man.
Oh.
I remember that too, like running through an airport with the stupid COVID mask on. I had to transfer and had to get like another terminal, like way far away, and running with that. I can't breathe with this goddamn mask on, I'm like running through the airport. I had to stop, like catch my breath and like keep on going.
I know.
Yeah.
What's a funny story that you can tell about Mike or one of the seminars that you're at, like something happened behind the scenes or anything like that, or something unexpected, something. I mean, you have a lot of years of, I'm sure there's something that you can.
I know I should write a book.
Yeah.
My years with Mike. God, there's been so many. The one that just pops off the top of my head. We were in Dallas. And this is around the 40th anniversary of the assassination, JFK assassination.
Oh, okay.
And we're in a nice hotel, and and it was just one of those things. So there's Mike Ferry. You always see Mike Ferry, very professional, and he's got his suits and his things and design, just put together. And he's, in the big suite, he's not like that, right? He's got his like his Nike shorts on and a zip up, sweatshirt on, and he's got his black socks up to his thing, and he's just standing there, and he's like, I'm too sexy in my socks. And I'm like, and also that same trip, it was like it was cold in the suite, and he goes over to the thing and he was like, what the hell are they thinking? Just these moments that, what the hell are they thinking? Just off the top. He is a really funny guy. If you know, and he knows more jokes than you can ever imagine. People send him jokes all the time. He's like, I can't say these jokes anymore. But yeah, there's too many funny.
The human side.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah. We all put our pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody's,
I'll have to think about that, because there are so many times where we just cracked up. All we do is just laugh.
Well, we can come back to that one.
Okay. All right.
So tell us a little bit about you and like family, real estate, whatever, just about you a little bit, what you want the viewers to know about you.
Nothing. I'm pretty private.
I'm Dr. Ken. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with. We didn't have
Dr. Ken.
We didn't have social media. That's still a little awkward for me.
Same.
You should post, and I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I find that people post all the time, and they always got their cameras and they got their things and they're doing their stuff, and I'm thinking, but are you really enjoying the moment?
Yeah.
Are you really? You're kind of not really, you're kind of disengaged in your thing, and it's for everybody else and not you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can create a persona.
Yeah.
It's really not even you. And sometimes people go a little too far with that,
Yeah.
And they're hyper focused on who they want to be and not just who they are.
Yeah.
Just be who you are.
And it's not genuine, and it's like, I've seen that, some of my wife's friends, and they're posting, they're doing these selfies, and I love my husband, and then 2 months later they're getting a divorce. You're like, yo, I don't know, it's all for show.
All about,
I'm like, well, it's real simple, man. I'm happily married, and I have 3 kids. My newest one is he's 4 months old, so he's a bit of a surprise. Mm-hmm. So that was a little adjustment. I was thinking, my daughters are 8 and 10.
Okay.
And so I was kind of getting into the next mode, and then boom,
he
shows up like, whoa, yeah. So that's definitely been an adjustment. Yeah.
You weren't expecting to change diapers at this time in your life.
At 61.
You imagine you're sitting there like, I got poop on my hand, and I'm 61. I didn't think this is the last place I thought.
Yeah. That doesn't mean my poop. That's almost changing me.
I tell it to my son.
Odds were it was going to be my own by this time.
Yeah, I tell it to my son. I'm like, someday you're going to do this for me, kid. No, it's really a really simple life. It's work and it's kids. I teach Krav Maga, Israeli self-defense. Really? Yeah. And awesome. I ride my motorcycle. And
that's a unique skill.
Yeah.
Krav Maga. Yeah. It's fun. Skill. Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. It's, it's interesting when you're growing up and you're a boy and and you're getting into fights and you do this stuff, and then at some point you get skilled, and no one ever messes with you, and you think, just once, can you just I want to use my skills. Let me just try a little, just no.
You're like, I know it works. I do it all the time.
Yeah,
like, come on.
Yeah.
So were you picked on as a child? Is that
no?
Okay.
No, I always had good friends. I was pretty small kid. When I was a freshman, I weighed 103 pounds. I wrestled at 103 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I was pretty light. But I always had good friends, always bigger, stronger. So no. There was some when I lived in Costa Mesa, and it was.
Did you grow up in Orange County?
I grew up I was born in LA in Culver City.
Okay.
Lived there for 5 years and then moved down to Orange County.
Okay.
And there was a little bit of race stuff, a little bit. Uh-huh. And I remember there were these neighbors that were from Georgia or something. They came in from Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Georgia.
Yeah. And they called me the N-word.
Really?
Right? Yeah, it was just, and I just, my father was big on, it was a different era. My father was like, hey, I don't want to see you start it. I don't want to see you start that fight. Mm-hmm. But if it starts, you better finish it, or I'm going to finish you. And I just remember, yeah.
Otherwise, don't come home.
Yeah.
I'm going to smoke you.
Yeah. And so I just remember these kids, and it happened on my front lawn. And I just, it was the first time I ever heard that. And I don't know if so much the word, but the tonality of it. And I just went nuts, man. I handled my business, And so, no, I was never, it's that idea of being peaceful, but at the same time being dangerous. Again, it happened at school. We were at school. I was in 5th grade, and my buddy Danny was kind of the toughest, known as the toughest guy in school, and we put up the flag. And so we go into the office to put up the flag and grab the flag, and this little kid, this kid was like, "You're gonna put up the flag, fags?" And we're like, "What?" And we smack him around a little bit, and again he turns around and calls me the N-word.
Oh.
Again, something snapped, something primal snapped. And I just remember grabbing him by his shirt, throwing him up against the counter. All the admin ladies and back there, the principal offices over there. And I just started, I just kept beating. They were like, I was like foaming out their mouth. They pulled me off of them. And then we go into the principal's office, and I said, he called me the N-word, and he goes, okay. And that was it. It was done. It was like, he got suspended for a couple of days or something.
And you were still at school.
I was still at school. Yeah. It was a time when you handled your business, man. If you had a beef with someone, you go, okay, hey, we're meeting after school off campus, and and everybody, remember there were crowds and there were people and there were stuff, and you handled your business and you shook hands and you kind of walked away. It was like done.
There's important lessons in that for everybody, because he learned a lesson too. That when you do that, that's what happens.
There's consequences. There's consequences.
Right now, everything. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Exactly.
Right?
Best thing Mike Tyson's ever said. Truest thing he's ever said.
Yeah. So we all everybody learns by that.
Yeah.
So that's
well, it's too. And now I teach. My daughters train. I mean, and I told my wife years ago, it's like, hey, I don't care what they do, if they do dance or cheerleader or things or sports or whatever, but they're going to learn how to defend themselves. It's just the time that we live in. And so now they start at 4 or 5 years old, and they're working their way up the ranks. And now, it's good to see, because there's this confidence, this thing that they carry themselves.
Yeah.
And, it's like,
yep.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Krav Maga, but is it similar to like karate? Do you have like levels belt wise?
Yeah. I mean, more so to get the all the curriculum done. And it's one of those things that you're not stuck in one system. There's jujitsu, there's wrestling, there's boxing, there's Muay Thai stuff, there's whatever, there's Eskrima, there's the Filipino arts, whatever works, right? That's the idea. And so a lot of things are tested, a lot of, there's knife defense and gun defense and stick defense and all these particular things. So you're not stuck in one thing. We see now that there's a lot of techniques that are adapting to knife or gun, or it's principle based. Okay. So it's repetition, man. It's just doing it over and over again. It's the principles, always move forward, attack the attack, etc. You're defending and attacking at the same time. So it's good. And you can't necessarily do it. I can't, while I'm sparring you, burst in with a shell and hit you with an elbow in the nose. You know what I mean? And knee you in the groin, and poke your eye out. You know what I mean? I can't do that, but I would if I had to. So that's the part of it is it's developing, figuring out when is it go time? When do I flip that switch and I get violent? I get that controlled violence. Because I could do it. I don't want to.
You don't want to be foaming at the mouth and
no, because you don't want to get into that blackout zone where you have no idea what you're in the red and you're fighting and you're aware of it. Because at a certain point it's self-defense. So at a certain point you neutralize the threat. They're either incapacitated, dead. You have space to get away, and then you keep attacking. Now you're the aggressor. So the idea is that handle my business and just get home safe. Once a guy, stomped out on the ground, I know a few guys that have used it and they just walk away, man.
That's awesome.
So,
what advice would you have to an agent just getting into the business?
Stay away from all the bright, shiny objects.
Excellent advice.
Yeah. I've never seen, there's so many things in this. You don't have to do it like everyone else. There's so many avenues. People do social media and people do open houses and some do expireds and FSBOs and just listed, just sold. And, all these, there's so many ways to go. Pick something.
And they end up chasing.
Yeah.
They end up never mastering one thing and just chasing all the little things.
Pick a few. I think even Tom talks about that. You have your pillars. You pick your 3 or 4 things that you're going to do and do them. And, does it work for you? And if at some point it doesn't work for you, get rid of it and do something else that will work for you. So, but I just think, you'll get a training or you'll go with a thing or you'll go to a seminar and you'll do this thing, but you won't do it long enough, and you won't do a deep dive into it. And then the next thing comes up, and the next seminar, and the next speaker, and you're doing all these particular things, and you, like you said, you never master the things that you could do. And there's no way that you have to do it like everybody else.
Right.
It's just you have to do that consistently.
Well, things are going to suit you better than someone else.
Yeah.
Everybody has a whole different just skill set.
Yeah.
All those things.
Yeah, if you can't talk to people, I wouldn't suggest door knocking. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah.
You knock and then you run.
Yeah. Well, if you can't talk to people, you probably shouldn't be in the business. It's a people business.
It is. Yeah. It's because more than anything, I think, man, it's relationships. It's a relationship business, and when it's transactional only, that's not the place to be.
Oh, man. There's nothing. Okay, you got a nice fat check, which is something, but it's like, it's not.
You don't build generational clients like just being transactional. You can't do that.
And those referrals are just so sweet, man. They're just like, oh, hey, you sold so-and-so's house. You helped them buy this house, and they said you're the best. And
that is invaluable advertising. You can't buy that. You can do all the paid advertising you want to do, but a warm referral like that from somebody is there. You can't put a price tag on that.
It's priceless.
Yeah, that's how I had my practice was. I got to the point where it was just referrals.
You need to advertise.
It was 99% referral, and it was just. All I had to do was
show up.
My job, show up,
do your thing,
do my thing the best that I could, and it would
came.
work out. Yeah, it would just keep flowing. So it's kind of nice. That's starting to happen in this business. You do deals and you do things, and people start referring you, and it's like, it's a lot easier than. When do you want to sell your house? What do you have to do? You still have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that your listing is expired, and I was wondering. When do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of getting your home sold? Never. Oh, okay. What do I do now?
So you were a chiropractor before, ran your own business. When you switched to being an agent, was there a mindset change that you had to like instill, or were you already kind of there because you had your business and your mindset was already there?
No, it's different because, doing what I did for 20 some years and all the studying and all the other stuff that went up to it, I didn't realize it, but it became a certain part of my identity. Dr. Ken, and so at some point you have to kill that off. I have to kill off the older version. Now I still have the name, it's like doctor in name only, but I had to kill off that version. I'm a salesperson, I'm a salesman. That's what I do. So that, like when you say, oh, Dr. Ken, I'm retired, you know what I mean? I'm not attached to that anymore, but I didn't realize it took me a while. It took me a few years
was it hard to separate from that? Was that like a mental barrier to this is kind of my identity. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And
you get rid of that.
It's taken me so long to get here, to get to this place.
Yeah.
And then to decide to take that leap and do something different is hard.
Yeah, it was a little scary, but freeing at the same time. Like, man, I
liberating.
I get to shed that skin, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. No, I help people buy and sell real estate, which is an important thing. But at the same time, I get to go home at night. I get to worry about. I don't have to worry about what you're eating and what you're thinking. I'm not blamed for your health. See, that was one of the things. A lot of people.
Like, that's hard. Yeah,
this like this. Hey, I got this neck pain and this back pain, and I got this and this and this. What are you going to do about it? I'm like, oh. I think that's a you problem. I'm going to help you.
People have a very hard time taking responsibility.
Oh, I know.
Accountability.
Right?
Yeah.
Very hard time.
Like that's a you problem. I'm here to help you with it.
Yeah.
One of the questions when I was a chiropractor and I'd go through my spiel and go through the thing, I'd say, do you have any questions for me? And they would go, no, or they'd have whatever question they'd have. Like, great. No, I have a question for you. Are you willing to give this up? Because so often they're so associated with the pain or the headaches or the thing or whatever's not functioning right in their body. They didn't know that they had a choice. You know what I mean? Like the first thing, this doesn't have to be a permanent condition.
Well, I think people lean on like, this is my problem.
Yeah.
This is my affliction.
Yeah. Here's
and
my
then
cross
they just
to
lean
bear.
all into that instead of like, where's it coming from?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Are you willing to? Can you imagine your life without this pain?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. They have a choice. So, yeah. In real estate, it's like, hey, how's the house? Yeah, does the HVAC still work?
Whatever. Do you have like a niche or of clientele that you try to like? That's your clientele, or are you just kind of like across the board? You kind of help kind of everyone.
I'm across the board starting, but it's starting to. I'm starting to, like I had in my practice or like I have in my life. You have your tribe, you have your people that you just connect with, man. Yeah. You have your, middle-aged dudes that like that are physical and like to ride motorcycles and like to do stuff and like to drink good scotch and smoke good cigars and like to enjoy, like
keep going.
Yeah, like to enjoy life.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like they like good food and they like good steaks and they like good things and that's kind of what I'm moving into. And now at the same time, because my life is so kid-centric that now it's also incorporating families and kids and things. And I mean, this place, Idaho, is so fantastic. Idaho, where I live in Meridian, reminds me of South Orange County back in the late 70s, early 80s when I grew up. I get to like, 40 years I'm like reliving my childhood, but my kids get to do that. My kids get to ride their bikes around the block without me constantly looking at them or ride right down to the park.
Too.
Yeah. They're the independence and the thing and the freedom that they have here. So I would say those kind of two areas which is pretty broad, Also too, I do like it when, and I'm sure you guys see this, is that when they're an older couple and they have it together, they have their stuff together.
Yeah.
Right. And they know what they want and they've earned it. They've put in the work. He's got his cool muscle car. She's got her stuff and they got all their things and they golf and they do all that stuff and they know what they're looking for. And when they see it, they're ready. They got all their documents in order. They got their finances in order, and they're like, "This is it."
They got their shit together.
They got their shit together, and they're gonna do it, and they're gonna keep living their best life.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I like that.
Love that.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Yeah, like they worked hard for it, and now they kind of reward themselves. Like so many times, man, this is our last house, Ken. We're gonna die here, and there's something pretty cool about that. So they want it. You know, once you find it, once they see it, they're very specific, but once you see it, it's golden.
This is it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the saying, because I've been on the agent side and the lender side, that a client will know if it's the right one as soon as they walk in the home?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it where, you know, you have some clients that have just a laundry list, checklist. It's got to have this, and it's got to be 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, and this square footage, and this thing that's got to be, and the backyard facing south, and the, you know, all the particular things. And then you'll roll up to a house and they go, oh. And one of them might even say, this is it. And then they walk into the door and it's like, and you just know there's this emotional thing that happens. Boom. Like they just light up. Mm-hmm. Oh, when you recognize that. Other times people are trying to make it fit. No, when you see it, you see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
Totally agree. That is so rewarding. You're like, oh, this is the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it is for, say, a buyer where they know it's the one. Mm-hmm. You personally, when you've bought, have you had that same feeling? Or was it where like, oh, we'll make it work?
No, it's been that same thing. Like, wow. Like you could see yourself there, my life there, my kids there. This is like, oh man, this is cool. It's got that, there's this vibe, this feeling that this is it. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I kind of do that with most things now at this point. Like, you know, I walk into a place to get a new suit. I'm like, ooh, damn. As a matter of fact, this suit, I'm in there getting another suit, and this guy walked by with a suit on, and I was like, damn, man, where'd you get that? Yeah. Oh, it's right over there. It's on the clearance rack. I'm like, yeah? How much? $100? I'm like, $100? I want it. I put one on. I put one on and it fit perfectly. And I was like, oh, that's a score, man. None. I was like, I was supposed to have it. Yeah. All right.
It's meant to be.
Yeah. It's more that. Yeah.
Speaking of suits, so I've never seen you in a t-shirt and shorts. I've always seen you. This is how I know you. Do you own t-shirt and shorts? Or yes. This is
no, I do. And it, you know, particularly lately, like when I'll have my son with me. And, you know, I got walking around with a damn burp cloth on my shoulder and the thing, dude, I'm not putting my suit on. You're going to throw up on my suit. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I'm not. So, but most of the time, you know, from either from Mike Ferry or from my father, who was a salesman, you went to work, man, you suited up. And we're in a business where this is huge for people. Buying a home for a lot, it's the biggest decision they're going to make financially. So I'm thinking there's times when you need to suit up, you know, deals like this, handling your business, weddings, funerals, you know, it's always easier to take the jacket off and undo the tie and I could fit in. But
look at pictures.
That's very true. I like what you just said.
You know, when you walk into a spot and you're underdressed, immediately you're like, ooh, ooh, damn.
Yep. If you're, it's certainly better to be overdressed than underdressed by far.
Overdressed, I could do something about it.
Look back at pictures from the 1940s and 50s and 60s. You know?
When everyone walked around like that.
We walked around. They had hats even, you know.
I know.
They had a tie. I mean, nobody's walking around in like, you know, basketball shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah.
Well, except Adam Sandler.
Well,
he can.
Right. Well, you know, I remember years ago, I read this study where they measured the production of these salespeople, and one group was in casually dressed, the second group was business casual, and the third dressed professionally. And I mean, so obviously, so the professionally, I mean The casual made a certain amount of money, did a certain amount of deals. The business casual did more. And then the ones professionally dressed was exponentially higher. Here's the interesting fact. It was all over the phone.
Really?
Wow.
It was all over the phone.
That's mind blowing because
that's mindset too. Yeah.
Yeah, because now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to work, man. I got this, I got that.
Yep.
Okay, I got my suit on, I got my armor on. Let's go do battle. So yeah, once I read that, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Because sometimes okay, I don't sit here and
yeah.
I mean, I do occasionally, but it's not the norm. And now you walk up, and I walk up like this, and people go, oh. This guy knows what he's doing, even though I may not.
Well, you look the part.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, that's part of it.
Hey, you just got over the biggest barrier, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Knock on the door and they go, oh, there's a guy in a suit. Okay. Versus, slumming.
No, agreed. Yeah. I wore a shirt and tie and jacket for a long time. Long time.
But you don't even dress yourself though. So, I mean,
I got help, I guess you could say.
I just try to keep it simple. I appreciate you with, wearing what you do. But with me, I just don't want to make decisions like that every morning. And it's black.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like we make important decisions all day long.
Yeah.
And what I wear shouldn't be one of them. Yeah. And so I just eliminate that all completely.
No.
And that's my
Apple
thing.
founder.
Yeah. It worked for Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash too, man.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Steve Jobs.
Most important, I think, is you own it.
Yeah. That's what it is.
You own it, man. And I mean, if this brings me to another level, or I feel like I'm more prepared, or I'm ready to go, great. If I'm dressing like this and all of a sudden I get a call to go show a house, okay, I'm ready to go. Not that, and it's just something that I've learned. It's just something. It's just kind of. And
did this go all the way back to chiropractic? You had to move around a lot back then.
Not as much, but yeah. I mean, I'd throw on a tie and a thing. I wouldn't wear a lab coat though. No. There's some people that wouldn't know. I'm not wearing a lab coat.
A lab coat for chiropractic?
Yeah, there's people that wear like a lab coat. And I'm like, Dr. Ken on it. I'm like, no. Well, plus it raises people's blood pressure. It's not healthy.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
You see that lab coat and you're like, oh God,
well,
what's this guy going to do?
White coat. There's a term for that. People get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blood pressure, anxiety, things go up. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So why Idaho?
It wasn't on my radar at all. And I had my oldest was 2 years old. My youngest was 3 months. And two things happened. One, Bo DeRocher at the time owns Beach City's Krav Maga, came out here with his wife. His daughter wanted to go to Boise State, so he wanted to check it out. He came back and he said, hey, Ken, in 2 years we're moving. I'm like, Idaho? I don't even know where Idaho is, really. I'm in Southern California. Yeah. We're the Southern California. We're the center of the universe. And so that was the one thing. And then the second thing was my kids, at 2 years old, you already got to start figuring out like where they're going to go to school. And they started taking away all the exemptions for the vaccine schedule. And when it affected Waldorf school and Montessori schools, which were kind of more holistic types of education, I thought it's gone. It's lost. No personal exemptions, no religious exemptions. I'm thinking this is gone. So Bo is posting 6 months. So he's 2 years late, come and go. He moves. He posts these pictures. Hey, here's this string of fish. 5 minutes from my house. Or he's with the wife and the kids and the dogs, and they're walking around the lake. Hey, this is 10 minutes from my house. They're walking by the river. And then all those articles came out about what a great place it was to raise kids. So I said to him, hey babe, let's go check this out. So we ended up coming the week after the 4th of July. So back in those days, it was Eagle Fun Days. And it was just this people, and it was like this sense of community, and there's a beer garden and there's music and all these naturally grown stuff and vendors and the car show and the water balloon fight, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And
so you just made a trip up.
We made a trip up 3 days, check it out. And then we walked into a restaurant. We walked into a breakfast place, and we have our 3-month-old. And there's a group of ladies, older ladies, and like, oh, your baby's so cute. Can we hold her? And I'm like,
excuse me?
I'm like, I guess so. So we handed them over. And I'm like, God, this place, it was shocking. It was shocking how friendly people were.
Yeah.
And I was like, people talk to you on the street. People talk to you in the store. I mean, I like to talk, and it worked out beautifully. So my wife had seen some houses online to rent. We didn't know much about it, but Meridian looks good. And so we ended up renting a house, putting in an application. 6 weeks later, we moved.
So you only had it was only one visit that you had to.
One visit.
Okay.
So then you were going back, you started the practice.
Yeah, I was going back and forth, Southern California. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and it just would get less and less. So the more time I spent here, they're like, oh God, it's hard to go back. And that would just be less and less and less. And yeah.
When's the last time that you've been back and just like were disappointed and how far it's gone downhill? Or were you disappointed?
Couple years. It's been a couple years. At least a year and a half. I would say maybe 2. It's interesting. It's familiar because I grew up there and you spent a lot of time there, but it's way different.
Not the same place.
It's just way different, man. Just the vibe and the thing, especially when you compare it to here. I mean, it's just, the only thing I miss about Southern California is the beach. Sometimes I drive on PCH and just smelling the ocean as I'm going to the office. Mm-hmm. But other than that, not a thing. Not the traffic, not most of the people, I don't have much family there anymore. I do have, obviously a bunch of friends, but it's just not the same. But I get a little bit of that in Meridian, and my kids get to experience that, and they get to grow up more free, and able to do those things. And there's all the festivals and all the, the movies in the park and music in the park. And there's so much nature and outside and floating the river and doing all these things, taking the easy up and a cooler and some chairs and going to the river and just sitting at the river and playing for a few hours. That's probably the
closest thing that you can think of to putting them in an environment that you grew up in.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And that's invaluable.
Yeah. And, and
same thing.
Yeah. The state doesn't, it's not a nanny state, it doesn't know how to raise my kids. Idaho doesn't know how to raise my kids better than I know how to raise them. Mm-hmm. And it definitely puts the onus and the responsibility back on me, which it should be. Mm-hmm. So the schooling is great. They go to a public charter school, and they're not taught any kind of nonsense, and I just remember walking in the school for the first time, and there were all these quotes of all these great patriots on the walls. And then one of the administrators, during the orientation said, the principles of the school are based on the principles of the founding fathers. And I said, this works for me. We need to get back to that. Mm-hmm. All the other stuff is just noise. Mm-hmm. So it was mostly the kids, man. I probably could have stuck it out there if I wanted to, but everything got expensive and, so.
The last question that we have is, when we moved here, everyone, if you're from California, they're say like, oh, don't, no Californians
don't
come
say
here.
You're from California.
Don't come here. I haven't experienced that hate or that, negativity. Mm-hmm. Have you ever experienced it? They're open arms.
None. I think I know more people that aren't from the state than there are.
No.
Mm-hmm. No, I've never. I think what most people are concerned with, because we saw that happen in Southern California. It used to be like Meridian, and it just masses of people and things and different.
Well,
ideas.
The big concern here would be that it's going to get changed. To go through.
And I understand that. My thought is, don't bring that crap here.
Yeah.
It didn't work there. It ruined. Without California is an absolutely beautiful state, and they ruined it. Mm-hmm. Don't bring that here. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? Mm-hmm. This is a little slice of heaven we have here. So, yeah.
I agree.
No.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us on the podcast. You can find Ken at...
I have no ideas.
Dr. Ken.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Ken at idaholife.com. Something like that. That's my email.
You'll find him.
Dr. Kenny Joe, I think on Instagram. That's an old picture. I need to change that picture.
He catfished you guys.
I think, I don't know. I'm so bad at that.
My driver's license picture when I was 16.
I think it's a picture of when I was in Rome or something. Took myself to Rome for my 50th birthday. Single at the time. Yeah, I think that's it.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining in.
Thank you, man. It's been fun. I love it, man. I love what you guys are doing. Yeah.
And next time, maybe it'll be a little bit later, and you can have a drink with Todd.
Oh man.
Oh,
a drink?
Enjoy the finer things.
Yeah. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
You know, you do those things, and it's those things that just kind of replenish you. You know, the nice thing about sitting down and having a drink and smoking a cigar is it takes an hour. You know, and you sit down and you have conversation, and you have about anything.
Yeah.
You know, it was one last story. I was in the barbershop yesterday, and it's down in Meridian, and it's like old school barbershop, man. It's exposed bricks and things, and it's kind of a manly place and nice leather stuff and old school chairs. And I brought my son in there, and I remembered going to the barbershop with my grandfather. Mm-hmm. Getting my hair buzzed, and he'd stop by the liquor stores next door, and he'd stop by and bring his little paper bag with his 10 high whiskey, and he'd bring me some candy. But those men would sit around and just talk
hours
about politics and everything that was going on in the world and their lives, and just rip on each other. And it was just this beautiful masculine space.
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool because having my son, I'm like, oh, I hope we retain that. I hope, at some point he's getting his hair cut, and
I go to one that's the same, that's very similar to that. And it's awesome. We started a couple of years ago with this one, and you go in and you get a haircut and a hot towel shave. And they're like, you want a whiskey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a thing here? Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
You have a sip, and it's just like, it's fun. And you just talk and chat, and
it's a whole experience.
Yeah. And it's a damn haircut. But
that's the important thing, is that, like, slowing it down.
Yeah.
Getting back to that. Getting back to having conversations. Not everything's online and digital and
100%. Yeah.
That wraps up this week's ride on Mortgage Cowboys.
If you got something out of today's episode, share it with your favorite friend, client, realtor, or that one loan officer who really needs to hear this.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment of your own mortgage or finance story.
Keep your deals clean, and we'll see you on the next episode of Mortgage Cowboys.
Stay classy, bitches.